Here at Sibos 2025, one of the burning questions is how can the industry's next frontiers be reached through purposeful partnership and innovation?
True digital transformation demands interoperability, collaboration, and innovative approaches to governance and operational excellence.
And to look at these areas in more detail, we're joined by Cyril Cymbler, Head of Financial Services, EMEA, and Strategic Customers over at Databricks. Welcome.
Thank you very much for welcoming here.
Now, in the spirit of Sibos 2025's Next Frontiers, how are leading banks using unified data and AI to drive real-time decision-making and resilience, especially when deployed with trusted partners like AWS?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So what we can observe, basically, what we can hear from our customers, from the market, from our partners as well, is basically how the tech, how AI, how a unified platform can help them basically to solve three main challenges. Number one, how we can contribute to help banks to generate more revenue. So what does it mean? It means that basically it can come through hyper-personalization, so with a next best offer, next best action, next best conversation as well. It can be as well to have less leads in the to-do list of a relationship manager or financial advisor, for example, in some corporate centers or branches, but much more qualified. So how I can have a higher ROI using real time for that. How we can redesign as well some very important and strategic customer journeys. So this is the number one, which is really how we can basically drive more growth and how the tech can enable the growth of the new revenue. The second challenge is a huge one, especially in this context, is how you can help all our financial institutions basically to better protect the firm, to have a better risk management. When I'm talking about risk management, it's wide, but it means very concretely cybersecurity. It can be fraud detection, fraud prevention. It is also credit risk, market risk, volatility risk, operational risk, everything also related to regulatory compliance topics as well. So all of these elements are absolutely key. You need to have a unified platform if you want to gather all the elements converging to basically something which is going to give you the accurate answer. And I would say the last one is also pretty important, is how technology can enable more cost efficiency. So everyone is talking about the cost, everyone is talking about the cost of using data, the cost of LLM, but it's not only this. I mean, it's also how you can help us to be much more productive, how you can optimize our business processes, the key ones, how you can help us to use agentic AI, for example, to digitize or to automate part of the low value added functions you can find in a big organization. So in a nutshell, these are really the three main topics that we can observe across financial services, meaning banking and payments, capital market, and insurance business as well.
Now, so you mentioned agentic AI there. I'd like to talk about the possibilities that agentic AI and interoperable platforms unlock in transforming payments and capital markets, and how are leaders in particular ensuring security, ensuring trust, and cross-system collaboration?
I love this question. It's super interesting because 10 years ago, when I was a banker, we were already talking about AI, but it was predictive AI. Everyone is doing AI. The question is how now AI is different from what it was a few years ago. AI was predictive. It was distribution model, very standard ones. And after 2 years ago, the boom exploded, which was basically talking about Gen AI. Gen AI was a super smart chatbot. But after now, everyone is talking about agentic AI. The difference between an agentic AI and Gen AI, it's not only a smart chatbot. An agent is taking action. This is what it is happening today. What we try to do with our partners today at Databricks is talking about the agentic AI of tomorrow, meaning the supervisor of agents. So you can have an army of agents supervising some other agent doing some standard stuff. I will try to be super clear for that. You are talking about risk management, for example. You can have an agent who can supervise basically default payments, connection. Another agent is going to have all the connection with the credit bureaus. You will have an agent who is going to talk to the internal data, to have all the different data sets that basically they can leverage to some scores. One other can do all the external data he may have, taking into account the behavior of the customers. And after that, the supervisor of agent will propose basically an action in real time or not real time, whatever you want. And the human being will still be here to basically accept or decline the proposition from the supervisor of all these agents. And this is basically what we want to do tomorrow. And we are lucky enough to have some great customers who trusted in us, thinking about MasterCard, ABN AMRO. So we are working really in depth on thinking about what could be the agent of tomorrow.
And how does your organization leverage Databricks and AWS together with industry partners to break legacy silos, boost value for clients, as well as respond to all the shifting market demands that we're seeing?
Yeah, very interesting question as well. We are working, first of all, both of us are on the marketplace of each other. So, which is already a trust. We are working hand in hand, and we are going to do our, I would say, value proposition together to see our customers and to propose our offer. What does it mean? We start by having unified data. Everything starts with the quality of the data you will have. It's absolutely critical and major to have this done, because if there is garbage in, there will be garbage out. And at the end, your agent, it could be a supervisor, you can have the best model ever. If the data that you have is not qualified, is not properly governed, you will not have the right outputs that you are expecting, and everyone will be disappointed. So working together with AWS is helping us also to work hand in hand in order to unify all this methodology around the value that we want to bring to the customer. This is the number one. Number two, we need to govern the data. And for that, this is something that we are going, and this is something that we are doing together. What does it mean? For example, when you are selling a data products, where you are monetizing your data, a lot of financial institutions now are doing this. What you need to do, you need to be able to have the right level of data and to be able to offer the full traceability of what you are building from the creation of a data product till the consumption of a data product. And basically, working together, Databricks and AWS, we can join our forces in order to offer this kind of, I would say, valued product that our customers basically can leverage.
It's been interesting to hear this week about the quality of data and how important that is across topics at Sibos. Now, with heightened focus on compliance, of course, on governance and sustainable growth, how do platform and partnership choices such as Unity Catalog, clean rooms, and regulatory-ready AI help you guys to stay out in front?
I think it's a great segue with the previous question, basically, and I can answer that very clearly. I think what you need to have, the most important elements that you need to leverage when you are basically working for financial institutions, you need to have a very robust, strong governance layer. What does it mean? It means on a governance layer, and it's Unity Catalog, Clean Room, you mentioned it, it's how you can control and govern your data, your metadata, your machine learning model, the unstructured data that you can have from outside of your platform, how you can manage your score, how you can manage the access controls, who has access to what kind of data, what is the golden source, what is the golden data, and of course, the lineage. The lineage is a bit technical, but what does it mean? Clearly, it means that you need to be able to provide the full traceability of a model that you are creating, for example. So who has access to what table? Who is in charge of maintaining this table? Who is the owner of this specific model? And when it was used and maintained for the last time, especially in a very heavy regulated environment like financial services, this is something which is absolutely important to be able to provide that if one day you have a control from the regulatory authorities, which occur quite often.
So what practical lessons or breakthroughs will we actually get from Sibos this year that are most relevant for front office teams driving change? I mean, at this year's event, we're getting sessions like AI-powered transactions, corporate actions automation, generative AI governance. What are we really going to take away from those sessions?
I would say that all what has been discussed during this Sibos is, in my opinion, super important. I would retain probably 3 elements. Number one is, again, next generation of agents. We are not talking about agentic AI, we are talking about the supervisor of agents, and this is important. Number two, you cannot achieve anything, if you don't have a really governed and manage robust data governance. This is absolutely important and key. If you don't have that, again, garbage in, garbage out. Do not expect to have something which is going to bring value. Number 3, I think everyone is already thinking about tomorrow. And the main problem is sometimes you talk too much about tomorrow without fixing the issues that you have today. So basically, the most important again, and what do we hear, is how the technology can be an enabler of the strategy of the financial institutions by providing more growth to the company, helping them to better protect their institutions, and the last one, how we can enable more cost efficiency.
Now, Cyril, in a world of instant payments, digital assets with operational risk, how do resilient data architectures with a robust partner ecosystem allow banks to turn this disruption into greater opportunity?
I think there is not magic answer for that. And the one who is claiming that he would be able to answer, it could be challenging. I think no one knows. What I can tell you today is basically we are doing everything which is possible to make it happen in a more secure way, a more reliable way. And again, sorry, but my dad was a professor at university and he used to tell me, education is art of repetition. So I will probably repeat the things probably a third time during this interview. But the most important, if you want to get the value from all of that, is to have a well-governed data strategy. And this is how basically the partnership that we have with AWS is helping us to basically provide a robust data strategy who is going to enable everyone to provide real-time decision, relevant, with a higher transformation ratio, with, I would say, less bothering the front office people working basically in the branch in the corporate center or on the trading floors by not flooding them with useless leads, but at least something that they can leverage to make more business for them and deliver more value to their customers.
Staying on the topic of partnerships, just looking ahead, how do you see cross-industry partnerships, of course, the backbones of events like Sibos, continue to shape the future of finance and redefine the competitive advantage?
Yeah, I think this is important because we see a lot of, I would say, cross-industry type of use cases that we can observe there. I can mention 2 which are important. Number 1 is cybersecurity. Without cybersecurity, I would say, we are really, all the industry are super exposed for that. And I think this is really, really important. And we had some very insightful conversation here at Sibos regarding this specific challenge that most of the financial institutions, but also outside of the financial industry, are experiencing every day. False positive, fraud detection, all these kind of elements. Number 2 is, I would say, embedded finance. When we are talking about embedded finance, how, for example, the financial institutions can embed payment solutions into the big online retailer with a lower risk, with better accuracy, and with, I would say, sometimes a dynamic pricing, which can, a bit following the yield management model of the airlines, having a dynamic pricing based on the segment of the customers and the risk of the product they want to buy. You can have as well like buy now, pay later type of offers that many fintechs are offering. And this is all the cross-industry use cases that we can observe and discuss across this great session of Sibos.
Thank you so much for all those super sharp insights, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. We've got one more day left. That was Cyril Cymbler, Head of Financial Services, EMEA and Strategic Customers.